Pick me up like a paintbrush. God, dip it in the colors of my life. Paint your picture, Father. Fashion a heart that is wholly yours.
I was asked to lead this mission trip about 3 weeks before the trip because they couldn't find another leader. And of course I said sure, I would be glad to lead the trip. And I was told at the time that we had a young lady that was coming on the trip that was in a wheelchair. And that was really all of the information that I was given. So I went out on the trip, and as I met the group, sure enough, there was a young lady named Hannah who was wheelchair bound. And I didn't think much about it at first for a couple hours as we were getting the team settled and getting ready. But as we moved along, I realized that there was probably something more going on with Hannah. So I talked to her leader, and as we were sitting there talking, she had explained to me that Hannah had come on this trip out of hospice care. She had a terminal brain disease, and that she potentially might die any day. She had had a stroke just 2 weeks prior to coming on the trip. She was on the most extreme narcotics for pain that a person could be on. And I was a little intimidated by the situation, not quite knowing how to handle this or what to do. But we moved on. I informed Pastor Eddie Rodriguez that we had a young lady with a terminal illness that might pass during the week, and yet she was here to serve, and so we proceeded through the week. But I had a hard time finding something for Hannah to do. She was with a group of all things, recovering addicts. These guys and ladies were within 6 months of sobriety. And so here I am faced with a young lady carrying these extreme narcotics in her possession and having a bunch of recovering alcoholics and drug addicts on her team and serving her, actually. As the week went on, Hannah really wanted to participate. She really needed something to do, and I struggled to find things for her to do. And finally, probably middle of the week, her leader come up to me and says, Hannah really wants to do something besides sit in VBS, and she wants to be a part of something. So I said, okay, and I got the guys, they picked her up. You gotta realize Hannah's got ports in her side. She's in a wheelchair, she really can't walk. When she takes her medication, she can't think, she can't talk. She's pretty much out of it. And yet, these big old men that were with her would gently pick her up in her wheelchair and carry her where she wanted. So we walked her into the building that we were working on. And we set her in front of a door in a hallway. Now this building is being built to train and minister to pastors and pastor staff on the Navajo Reservation in New Mexico and Arizona. It has computer rooms and different offices and facilities to help train the pastors, get their 501Cs up to date, and meet the tribal council regulations for a Christian church. So through this building will come a lot of men of faith, women of faith. There'll be a lot of training. So we sat Hannah in front of one of these doors and gave her a paintbrush and a bucket of paint, and one of the ladies on her team would dip the brush and hand it to Hannah, and Hannah would paint this little spot on the door. It probably wasn't any bigger than 12 inches around. But in that moment, it was the most heroic, courageous act of faith that I had ever seen in my life. It was, to me, what true servanthood means to live out in your life. She was in severe pain. She was terminal, and yet here she was out in the field serving God, serving Jesus with the faith of a giant. It is amazing to see the sacrifice that she put into this trip. And through that door that she painted, many men and women of faith will walk. And I just was encouraged that we all have our spot to paint.
I've been doing this for 4 years, and I've gotten to know these wonderful children and have been able to share with them my love of Jesus.
I feel called to help these kids learn more about God and what He has to offer to them. So, yeah.
That the minister preaches and we go out to teach. And we should become more and more involved.
I'm involved in Good News Club because I feel that it's important to reach our children with the Word of God, and I have children that are in the school, and I think that the more that I can get them to be involved in anything that has anything to do with the church or God or Jesus is a wonderful thing. And I believe that for them, seeing me helping out is walking the walk in a sense. They see that I'm a follower, and hopefully they'll follow along with me and everybody else.
So do you like Good News Club?
Yes.
What do you learn about it, Good News Club?
God.
You learn about God. Why do you like
Jesus.
Why do you like going to Good News Club?
Dancing.
Tell your story.
And but the church needs to minister to the spiritual as well as the physical needs of people. Well, I think it's very important for church members to be involved because they are the witnesses of Christ.
As I mentioned earlier, I've always been really independent and self-sufficient, and I guess it was a pride thing. But as time goes on, there are things that I no longer can do physically. I'm just not able due to injuries or other things going on. And it's helped me maintain a sense of pride in my home because these wonderful people come over and rake leaves.
It's getting us excited and expectant that this isn't just something that any good neighbor might do for a neighbor, but we have a message, and those people have a need that is beyond the immediate thing that they see.
Well, it was Easter morning, and we went to the BJ's and got us some all the breakfast material, and we went there and prepared meals for the families there, the children and their parents and some other adults there. And after the meal was completed, we handed out the stuffed animals and the coloring books to the kids, little gifts for them. And then young little boy come up to me, and he says, "Sir," he said, "I just want to thank you, because that was about the best meal that I've eaten." And of course the tears just welled up, and I was emotional wreck then, but I held it together. And he said, "I really like the sausage links." So I said, "Well, you got some." And his mom said, "No, we gotta share with the others." I said, "That's okay, ma'am." He said, "He likes them. I'll take him over and get him some more." So I took him over there and loaded up his plate full of sausage links. And just to see the joy on his face, and it's showing the love of Christ. And it doesn't cost that much money. You know, breakfast food, a couple dozen eggs, a couple pounds of bacon, it doesn't cost that much, and just a little bit of your time. How long does it take you to prepare a meal for your family? That's all these people need, is just a little bit of your time, and to show the love of Christ.